Oh, okay. Nope, already did it. That's what I get when the peanut gallery comes in here and I've got everything set up. So, so what do we have to do? We've got to unpack quite a bit, right? We've got to unpack. We went to the PGA show. That's going to be one. We've got to do the Lpga, PGA winners. That's two. Some of the work that we did. That's three. Some of the toys I got and some of the other stuff and a few other selective things. So let's get right to it. If you guys have been watching, if you haven't, again, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on the other platforms of Instagram and Facebook. You just look up my Golf Custom Clubs, you will find us. And just watch along. All right. There's I released just about every video I could before Sunday while everybody was watching football here in the U.S. and in order to get started. So again, I wanted to recap some more of the PGA, right, of the PGA. And as we start, I wanted to kind of give it a flavor of, this is how it kind of started. Right, and that's after everything was unpacked and everything like that. And then what happens is when we get going, it looks a lot like that. Right, that's that was the entrance day, and normally that thing is just jam packed. Right, it is where you see me standing is normally people, and normally I have to get to the top in order to be able to get a good representation of what's going on. And I didn't have to do that, right? Didn't have to do that at all. And that's the thing about that is that was a known going into it, right? With all the OEMs not showing up, we knew that it was going to be a lightly attended PGA show. However, I think the number of people that showed up may have been a bit more than what they expected. So that's a good thing. I wanted to see it be a positive thing for the PGA show. I like it because it's a lot of getting together. Normally the ICG comes down there, the International Clubmakers Guild comes in down there, and I get to meet with a bunch of the guys I've known for a long time, and we get to discuss things that were relevant for the year, and I think that's important. As part of the trip, as you guys saw, we stopped over. Steve was very cordial, invited us over, and I just can't get over this picture I took. I just think it looks like something right off of a magazine cover. But that was, if you look over here to the upper center right, that was the golf course that we were on. Very nice golf course, very nice accommodations. I believe they call it just Ocean, right, or Oceanside in Hammock Bay area. Beautiful place, absolutely beautiful place. Alrighty, so to kind of keep recapping, we went into the new the new inventors area, right? And I got a few more stories to tell. Mrs. McGolf won't like the first one, but we'll get to the new inventors area, and then we'll do a little backwards tracing. This is Center Cut. This is one of the people I wanted to go see, and we just ran out of time. What I got to see about this is it just looks like it's this big round horn that grabs golf balls. Well, as it turns out, there's a flat on it, and it's just I would say it's kind of like a jumbo-ish kind of feel, very much like it has the feel of a Super Stroke. They all do now. They've copied that, right? And the idea that you can put it on and it picks up the ball without any help. I thought that was a neat idea, right? I just thought, different colors. It's not ugly by any shape of the imagination. It was just unique that somebody actually molded a golf ball plucker or picker upper or whatever you want to call it, suction cup on the end of a putter grip. So it just goes to show anything's possible. All right. Another thing that we did see when I said plucker is you get this, and it is a plucker. What that was for is when you're it's short enough that, it's like this. And when you're sitting in your golf cart, you can just run by and pick it up and away you go. So you have to bend over. Well, if you're driving along, you could probably bend over, but hey, if you like that kind of convenience, it's all about that. Another one that we saw in there, and I am actually in talks with these guys, is that. And that is the dimple chair. The dimple chair. I thought that was too damn cool. To me, it was something that was like a mixture of the old 70s sci-fi movie where everybody sat in the eggs, and they had the big sway covers here, and golf. And I thought, there you go. If you can't like that, you can't like anything. So we're trying to see what it would take to get a couple in the McGolf shop. Another piece of it. So story time. First time we're in there, we're visiting some relatives, and you saw Mrs. McGolf was she sprained her ankle, and what had happened is that she didn't quite have her feet in her shoes, and made mention of that, and no more than she says, I don't have my feet in my shoes, I have to be careful, and all of a sudden you hear blah. I turn around and there's no more Mrs. McGolf, and I'm looking down and there she is, and she says, "Oh, I hurt my wrist," and I thought, "Oh, here we go, broken wrist." Gets up, no big deal. Takes about 2 steps and starts hobbling like as she hurt her foot. I was like, well, that's better than the wrist, I suppose, I guess, maybe. And we get her into the RV and start taking a look, and it started swelling and getting bruised really, really rapidly. So we put some ice on it. And I will say that she was an absolute trooper when it came through it, because we iced it down, sprayed it with the Aleve, the whole 9 yards, wrapped it up, and she went to walking. So not, I big time thumbs up to Miss McGolf on being tough. Although the cause of the incident is still under investigation, I'm thinking that there may have been some raspberry vodka involved, but that's we're still working on that one. So anyway, we just got word today that yes, there is a bit of a fracture in there, and we now have to figure out what the next step is. So let's give her some good vibes and making sure that that's all good. Okay, so one of the guys, I wanted to share this with you guys because these guys are just a bunch of good folks. This is the Soul Brothers barbecue sauce, and I got to give it to these guys. They're very innovative, right? They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew why they were doing it and why they were there. I said, because I said, I asked them. I said, you do understand this is a golf show, right? And they all kind of started laughing, and I said, not much in the way of barbecue other than we do like barbecue. And he says, oh yeah, and they basically laid out a business plan in front of me, and I was like, wow, this is great. So if you look, they got 6 sauces across the bottom there. And we got 3 of the 6 because that's all they had. So to kind of give you an idea, that's what one looks like when you get some ribs, some Western style ribs. That's what the original. And that one is with shut your mouth. Right? Shut your mouth. And what that one is, the first one was their normal barbecue sauce. It's a little sweeter, where the other one has a little bit more spice to it. Both were very, very good. If you happen to see them out and about, I would recommend them. They cooked up very, very well without changing a lot of flavor. So good for them. All righty. So we're out there walking around. And who do I spy but Matt Adams? Matt Adams is from Fairways Alive. You see him on a golf channel. And the dude, I got to tell you what, the dude always portrayed himself as somebody that is just a normal guy. And he walked up and he just started talking to us. And I thanked him for doing the show, and he was all good. And we switched our wives getting injured stories, and we and he just carried on a good conversation just as easily as you and I are talking here. And a good guy, very good guy. All righty, so day 1. Graphite Design. Talk to Graphite Design. Yes, we are a dealer now. Yes, I'm getting the stuff in. Talked with Alvin. Here's my buddy Alvin. We always get a picture when we're there. Normally there's another fella trying to photobomb us, but he missed his opportunity, so there. So that was pretty good. What else do we see? Make field putters, right? Make field putters. That's an interesting one. So some of the sidebar on that is that this dude makes medical supplies, and that requires some high level of precision to be made. And he's out of Pennsylvania, so he's got that industrial Pennsylvania vibe going on, and it was really good. He started where his son has autism, and he had to watch his son because of the COVID. There was a lot of limitations on having this done. So he was taking his turn in the barrel, and they would watch YouTube videos together. And one thing leads to another, and his engineering mind starts engaging of how he's seeing these putters work. And he's like, maybe there's something else out there. So I take a look at the putters, and honestly, the pictures don't do it justice. I thought, oh my God, look at this putter, until I went and saw it, and it's bigger than it looks, to be sure. It's not a shiny; it's a dull finish, which I like, and a big sight line again, which I like. And the thing is, after he hit it a couple of times, the putter basically disappears. And I don't think he intended on that, but to me, that's what happened. And he's got this new face on it that I've not seen anybody use before. And that, combined with the fact that it's a milled aluminum with these 3 weight ports in the back, it really feels good. It really did feel good. And it rolled very, very well, just like he was saying. Everything he said on that video happened while I was putting. So that's all I can say to you. I like the grip. The grip was a tacky, but not, the texture was smooth. I like that one. And the one thing that caught me by surprise, on the back of each one of those, the protrusions on the back, normally when somebody does something with the weight, they make this make it ornamental in the back and saying, hey, here's weights. He didn't. It's the same color. You just know that there's something there, and that's the end of it. And I thought that was unique too. All right. Two thumbs, or two thumb, actually, no S. All right. They got some guys on the tour playing their stuff. If you guys have been around a while, they have, they're actually out of the UK area, I believe. And they had an original putter for what they called the prayer grip model, prayer grip style. And they've since partnered up with the previous owner of Superstroke, and now they've got all these other styles and models and things to fit. So it's a reinvention of it. Okay, good. And there are some really neat things in that putter grip. I don't know how much of their availability is there yet. Somebody was telling me that there wasn't much, but hopefully they get that online. Of course, we did the pure grips, we did the star grips. That was a good thing. Anders is a guy from Sweden. He's very, I'd say he's very reserved. He has a good sense of humor, and he's an engineer by trade, and you can tell he is a very sharp character. All righty, last couple, and then we'll get to other stuff. The one thing I really liked was the well putt. All right, the well putt, and what you're seeing is a guy on here. They're all from France, and this platform tilts, and you read break, you can see just barely the line on there, and that's broadcast by the little kiosk that's up over on the left hand side up in here. And then they have this mat that's over to the side, the well putt mat, and it can be used for a multitude of things, but it's a really good training aid. The roll off this mat is really nice, and so that'd be, if you can't, only a select few are really going to be into the tilting platform, but if you're looking for something that's a space saver, putting kind of area thing, that would be it. I could certainly see you guys getting the benefit of that. So that in the nutshell. Oh, and one last thing, this got a big amount of attention. Was that the Pub OG, or the Pub Og, right? Pub Og, and that is a life-size model of what they're selling. And if you look deep into there, you can see there's 2 Guinness taps and all kinds of stuff on the inside. And that's what you get. You get it's a 10 by 10. It's a octagon, and it comes with air conditioning, heating, Wi-Fi, TV, stereo, just all the accoutrements there. Plus, the big thing is the bar. The bar is made from some very, very old wood, 250-year-old plus wood, and each bar is just a little different than the next, and it's just your little flavor of Ireland from a normal pub. Comes with all the knickknacks, comes with it comes stocked, right? Very, very nice. And it comes with a hefty price tag, I will say that, but they don't short you a bit in the experience for it. Very, very nice. So it was one of those things to consider out there. All right, so we got past all that, and I actually did have some club work. I sent some stuff back to Elyria, Ohio. I believe that's where it was at. And this is going either back to Canada or down to Boca Raton. I'm not sure where, but some Bettinardi wedges. These actually look really nice. I didn't know Bettinardi had this kind of eye for this, but this was really, really nice. Kind of the honeycomb pattern.
Mount Vernon, Ohio.
Huh?
Mount Vernon, Ohio.
Oh, Mount Vernon, whatever. It's in Ohio. Yeah. Anyway, it's
No, those are what you're looking at right now.
the Bettinardis?
Yes.
I thought these were going to Canada.
Steve Prettyman.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. These are going to Ohio too. So Mrs. McGough corrected me on that one. Anyway, I do like the grind on them. I like the grind on these guys. It's a really nice look. Yes, there's some fancy stuff on here, but everything on this thing is very, very functional. Looks really, really good. And we ended up putting the black KBS in it with the green labels on it. So we got that. Now we've got 4 more boxes of stuff, so there'll be plenty to choose from out there. One of them is is probably a copy of those T100s that I did. So we're going to see that. All right, now on to some other cool stuff. Kent, as a thank you, sent me I don't know if you can see it, sent me a ball marker. Now, if you can see, that's a pretty big, this is a ball marker used when you're playing for money, all right? When you're playing for money. And it says, Halifax West End Golf Club, founded in 1906. Very awesome. Thank you, Kent. And it comes with the green that we all love and cherish around here. And it is another switchblade-like thing with a divot tool on it. So, Kent, thank you very much, buddy. All righty, the last couple of things. You guys saw me talk about the Phone Caddy. I think this is kind of a neat little deal. If you guys are one of those folks that have to have your cell phone out, whether you're using an app or you have some sort of family potential emergency, this could be it. And it's not going to go over the top expensive. And you saw where I did with the flight scope and the Groove It brush. I'm so glad Nick is doing very well with that. And it is a good tool. Here's kind of a breakdown. I like this. You get to see that. That's a breakdown. That's showing the pump area of it and then the brush. So he did a pretty good job. Now, last but not least, I got that. That is the new updated Capto. The Capto is this is probably one of the coolest little putting tools. Like we'll call it, for lack of a better term, a putting launch monitor. And the guys are using it for, a lot of it's for training. And I, for one, am going to make it mine and turn it into a fitting tool. Watch this. Right? So it now has, the thing is, it has a display. So when it sits like this, you can look into it and it can give you some feedback. Of course, the thing is very, very small, but it is very, very clear. I don't know if you can, but you see how, it's going to be hard because it won't focus. There we go. See that? Very clear. And it's really neat. And the thing that they improved on was this. In order to get it onto the putter shaft, the original one that they had was an absolute barrel of monkeys. Now all you have to do is slide this guy on and put it on, and voila, you are on your way. I think that is just so cool. Okay. And it'd be a great putting tool. Now, the guy I was talking to that was talking about this, the owner, I'm going to turn this off, says, see you soon. He says, do you read? Do you read? Oh, no, bud. I gave up school in the second grade. Yeah, I read. And so he hands me this. This guy, Luca Mancini, Italian, which is where Capto comes from, wrote a book, and he's from this guy's mouth is that he's more of the engineering guy and less of the golfer guy. So it's 120 plus pages of. It'll be really neat to read. So I'll give you an update when I'm all done with that one. All right, I think I got you guys covered up and caught up. A little there. Oh, here's what we look like when we get to Florida. Okay. So, got to make sure to do that. All right. Saw all that. And, PGA. Luke List, right? We know Luke List won at the very end. I thought it was kind of funny. They were showing putters. Apparently, somebody was getting robbed. Will Zalatoris was doing really good. John Rahm was doing really good. And Luke List did really, really well. So congratulations to them. And then the PGA or the Lpga at Boca Raton, I had to include them only because when they were finishing, it was just dreadfully cold in Boca Raton. I mean, come on. And it looks like Lydia Ko won, and D Kang came in second at -14 and -13 respectively. So congratulations to them. All right, so we got all that done. So, and I will tell you the one more story is in Florida, this is much less expensive than it is up here. So I may have picked up a few extra containers to say in order to not have to buy any up here for some time. We got 72 here. Let's see what we got. David Rogers, what do you say, sir? Glad you make it back safe. Thank you. And we did leave early. There was a lot of snow going out, and we went through the mountains, and it was like nothing on the way out. Coming back, there was snow blowing, but we missed the nor'easter, thank goodness. Unfortunately, it looks as if this weekend we are not going to be missed. So that's another issue. All right. Can you compare Acra shafts and graphite design shafts? What about the prices? Okay, David. So to keep in mind, Acra is made in Japan, and it is a very, very good shaft. Graphite design comes out, I don't believe it comes out of Japan, but although it very well may, but the materials at graphite design, and here's where it's going to be made in Japan, high quality, really, and then graphite design uses some, and they use some very good materials as well. These guys have kicked it up a notch to another layer of, or another type of material, kinds of materials, the way that it's made. So it's a little different, and it's going to be a little bit more when you're talking about their normal lines, what I would call their normal lines, or the stuff you're going to see on TV. Now you say, well, Acra's not on TV. Well, fortunately they are, right? They're in a lot of players' clubs you have to watch, particularly the TZ line from Acra and the FX line from Acra. It is in some players' bags. Now, more notably on the graphite design side is the orange shaft, the DI or the AD, and that one's in there is made real popular by Jordan Spieth, but it's in a lot of other people's clubs. Now with these new ones that they've got, like I believe it's the XC, which I've got sitting, well, it's sitting back here, and that was the one I took out in Florida. And I have to say, now I took it out once before and I struggled with it, and it was all the goober on the end of the stick. And I took it out this last time, and I believe, as Steve can attest, I hit it pretty good. And so could be a combination of shaft and new head, Could be a combination of shaft, new head, and the guy on the end of the stick. I'm going for all three. Very, very, very smooth feeling shaft for something that was supposed to be a low ball hitting. It didn't feel like it, but it was a good feeling shaft. But that's where, so that would be the difference. Now, the funny part is they both have Iker has the I series and Graphite Design has MAD, maximum accuracy and distance, I believe is what it stands for. And the MAD design actually came from is a spinoff of the YS6, which was extraordinarily popular for Graphite Design. But I don't think it has all the bells and whistles in it like the new was it UB and the new XC and the other one that went with it. I'm not an expert on all their designators as yet, but we will be. The other part is that caught me by surprise, and one of the reasons why I did go with Graphite Design in addition to Acra is that they both have a fairway wood shaft. It's very, very hard for a company to put out a fairway wood shaft that's specifically designed for the fairway wood, and I like that. And we're going to go with it because of that. Lots of different weights. They both go from the 40 all the way up into the very high numbers. They both do that. And, that might be a heck of a video when they show up, is do a little head-to-head with them. I said that'd be pretty nice. So we're going to try that. All right. Mr. Joe, 24,000 subscribers. You ever think it would get that popular? Joe, absolutely not. I didn't think it was going to get there at all. 25,000 was a goal. After, we went to 5,000, I said 25 was going to be the next one. And so we are on our way. I think I was at 24.1 and some change. So, and it went up rapidly, and because of this week, which was a good thing. And I appreciate your guys' support, and it was fun. So, and we did run into some folks, the guys that you may have seen on some of the videos. Richard Ralston, we found Sean, who's from Pennsylvania, Martel was there from Quebec. We saw some folks that recognized us from the channel. That was a lot of fun. It's neat to see it's just neat, and people get to see that. That was really, really good. All right, Fred, what's going on? Vornheder? All right, can Wilson D9s be bent for loft and lie? D9 irons. Yes, they can. Keeping in mind that they are cast, you're not going to get a lot, right? You're not going to get a lot out of it. You'll get lie angle, and those clubs they're hard. I will say that they're very hard. There's a little notch cut in the back. I do have it back there. There's a little notch cut in the back because they were so hard. They had to do that notching so that they could be bent. So that's the reason why they're there. I got that from the designer himself, that they put that in there so they could be bent. Now, I wouldn't go more than a couple of degrees, and if you got that, I'd be very pleased if you got that. Charles, how are you, sir? Thank you. And again, salute. All right. Mr. Danny, what's going on? Thanks for the videos on the Pure and the Star grips. I like buying USA-made products. Me too. When I can. Me too. When installing grips using air, what holds the grip on since the glue is not used? And that is a good question, right? That is a good question. When this first came out, this was very kind of, I don't know about you. They side-eyed him pretty good. And what it is the particular rubber that they both use is the EDPM rubber. One of them mentioned windshield wipers. The other one, actually, if you look on your car in the molding that goes around your window, it's the same kind of rubber. And this stuff is very, very durable, as you can attest in cars, right? They don't go, as long as you keep them clean, they tend to work very, very well for the life of the car. Now, what keeps them on there is basically the friction between the two grips. Now, here's the thing: when the tape was put on for the other grips, it wasn't necessarily the tape was holding it on, because you put the solvent on to slide it on. So if you remember back in the old bicycle days when you had to put on your grips, how you used to, I used to spray it with Windex and then slide it on as fast as I could. Other people did the tape and solvent method, the ones that were doing, the high-end biking and that kind of stuff. So I believe it was to its own accord. Now, I have heard where people have had issues with them turning. Personally, I would think that is an ill-matched shaft to the butt of, or to the core of the grip. And what other club makers are doing are putting on the you've seen that painter's tape, the blue stuff. They'll put a layer of that on there and throw it in there. And to date, no issues. At least that's what I'm being told. The putting on by air is very unique. I think it's cool. It's a install and go. I do like that. It is loud, as you guys saw, but there is positives to it. There is no solvent, which really gets into people's minds, because that solvent, if the solvent can be a carcinogen, particularly if you're using mineral spirits or even gas, right? And I don't recommend that a bit, but there he is. The lamp oil from those tiki lamps, I've seen people use that. And the stuff that I use, which is, it's from Florida Chemical, I believe, no, Citrus Chemical. It's out of Florida and it smells like oranges, but and it's made to be diluted as a cleaner. And so you don't want to, it is all citrus based, which is good. So but you don't want to have you soak your hands in it for certain. And if you don't like being around chemicals, this air thing is certainly a great alternative. But you better be careful when you're doing wind grips, though. Got to be getting close to D9 I think Mrs. McGolf, actually, we've been hounding them, and Mrs. McGolf got a release date on all of our stuff, and you'll be slightly disappointed. Maybe not. It's coming up next month. So we hope to be getting an advanced iron so that we can do a video and give you guys all the input. Normally I get to talk to Mr. Pergondi, and it's a good thing. Manuel, how are you, sir? Glad to see you're on. Glad you ride safely. Thank you. Watching Graphite Design segment, ordered a mad shaft. Well, good. Well, let us know how it works out there, because they had the mad and they had the mad tour, and the mad is a little bit more friendly there, where the tour is a little bit more, the profile is a little bit more stiffer. We'll go with that. But I think either one you'd be doing fine. All right. Hello from Buffalo. I knew this is Mike Pett. What are your thoughts on the injuries Bryson is beginning to have as he develops his speed and long driver swing? Well, that was always a prediction that was going to happen, right? That you do the workouts in order to protect yourself while you're trying to develop this swing. And we've seen it. The dude works out religiously, and I think he might be hitting a spot where it might just be the maximum. He doesn't think that he's going to be held back by any speed walls, and good for him. But I do think that there is a limit that the body is made to go. And, because these guys that are doing long drive, those guys are built like linebackers, and they practice a lot, and they also get injured, but they're not out there getting after it, like Bryson is. And so I hate to see it. I hope he gets better, because that dude's a lightning rod, and I like seeing it, because no matter what he does, people are listening. and I like how he takes his approach. He doesn't do anything haphazardly. They call him the mad scientist for a reason, and so be it. But as long as he's taking a logical, step-by-step approach to getting to where he wants to go, what's wrong? All right, how's the barbecue sauce? Charles, I am all about it, bud. Oh my gosh, it is delicious. Mrs. McGolf should be chiming in on that one too. she had the regular, and I tasted it, and it was really good. If you like a we'll call it a sweeter kind of sauce, but not real sugary, it's really odd because they were very, very adamant about not putting a whole lot of sugar in these things, but but there is sweet in it for sure. And they were very adamant about the ingredients that go into it, which was a good thing. And and then the shut your mouth is the spicy version of that, and it has some bite, but it's not so hot that you can't stand it. I thought it was just right. I thought they did a really, really good job. Now they're coming out with a mustard and a mayonnaise that has some of that stuff in it. When it's available, I'm going to be online to go get it. I know that's for sure. All righty, welcome back. Thank you so much. Did you get a message about powder coated shafts on Facebook? No, I did not. I didn't. Powder coated shafts on Facebook. No, I'm sorry, but I didn't. So powder coating, I like powder coating. Powder coating is very, very, very durable. And I'm sure they make strides day in and day out with these things. Powder coating, however, is very hard. So something that flexes, unless it's applied in a very, very thin manner, I don't know. I think it would impact the profile of the shaft. That would be just my opinion. Now, if they have a new method of applying powder coating or a new powder coat all of itself, that very well may be the solution to that. I got to talk to Mark at Nippon, um, and talking about the coatings, and they were very, very. Uh, I like the fact that they'll go out and do it, and they've got another one coming, but they're very selective on those, and we talked about that for a bit. Dave, what's going on, sir? Hopefully you guys are staying warm. Travis, thanks for the great show reviews. You are certainly the celebrity sightings at the show. Well, the only one I saw truly was Matt Adams, and we got the like I told you earlier, we talked with the guy. The funny part is that as I learned later, is the PGA uh, really they brought in an army of what they called influencers. All right, and when they lined them up, I didn't recognize one of them. And it doesn't mean that they're not great, and it doesn't. But I don't swim in those circles apparently. Now, one of them much later is something with Amy. I do recall her, and I remember seeing her. She was at the driving range area, and I saw her for about a second, and that was about it. So I don't know what was truly going on. Oh, speaking of that, but outside of that, no, I didn't see anybody else. They didn't have, Charlie from the Golf Channel was supposed to be at a booth. I didn't see him. I really didn't. They really didn't have too many people that they were advertising coming to the show. And, and okay, normally I don't get to see him anyway, so it wasn't like it was a big loss for me. Anyway, there was another item there that I did take a video of. It's called Irkuk, and it's Australian. It's an Australian company, and it was the one club adjustable, and very cool. Lefties and righties. If you guys go to these one club tournaments, this is certainly something to take. It would piss off everybody else, but it would be worth it. And I did get to hit it. And yes, you could tell it was a multi-piece type club, but it worked. And for the fun of it, because they have it cranked down to 5 degrees for a putter. And just for the fun of it, I cranked it down to the putter and I hit some. And the ball got this high off the ground. It was, man, the ultimate stinger. And but that goes to the lob wedge too. So it has I'm going to say about 8 clubs in one. So definitely worth a look, but it's not spelled that. It starts with a QUA, and you can see it in there. They were primary focus, but very cool, very neat little idea. And it was made from something that was done in the 1800s. So it was a good thing. Love the video from the PGA show. Can't get the new two thumbs in Ireland yet. Ooh, why not? The guy I was talking to is Mr. UK all day long. And I know Ireland, but somebody else was saying that I got an email, not an email. I got a comment on that video saying that they didn't have them, and there wasn't any place to sign up. So I hope that uh, that maybe this February March timeframe that they get everything that they need. All right. Do you see the CGA growing back in the future? Will Williams return? Uh, that's that's another good question. So do I think they're going to come back? I think that there's going to be some wheeling and dealing going on between the folks that run the PGA show and those OEMs. Now, I will say this, if these supply chain issues keep going through the year, and hopefully they don't, but if they do, if they keep going through the year, I would certainly see them coming back. Because again, in the day, what it was is the PGA show was the premier place to do your new releases. Everybody fought for TV time. It was a marketing thing. It was just a really cool place. And then priorities shifted. Were starting, they had access to everything. They could get everything next day. It was, and they were coming out in October, November timeframe and showing us the reps were showing what was coming out. So why do you need to go to the show other than to strut like a peacock in front of the TV? Well, now you're seeing people aren't releasing stuff until February, March, and it's because of supply chain issues. If that's the case, you could push back all that marketing stuff and go straight into the PGA show, and you're right back to where you were. That's one possibility. Another one is that they get a good deal for coming back, and they make the commitment, and they do, and that brings more people in. It's like a handshake kind of thing. And and I hope that it's not, and that they just say, tough luck, guys, you're on your own, and they're going to have to figure out a new way to market what's left in the PGA show. But I think that they'll come back. What are the qualifications to go to the PGA show? Well, Jeff, the easiest one is to be a member of the PGA, not the guys you see on TV, but the other one. If you're a member, it's free. Or if you're a member of one of the other golf association clubs, groups, whatever, that they recognize, you can also get in and you register and they will let you in. Another one is like me, if you're part of a media organization, you can also get in. If not, then you're not let in early on the first day, and it costs you money to get in. At least it was in the past. I didn't get a chance to check this time around. There's Charlie. There she is. It was delicious. There you go. Manuel, we found out her foot is broken. So hopefully we just found out about a minute and a half before coming onto here. So hopefully we're going to find out what it's all about as far as what we got to do. Come to find out, she's got a bone spur too. So I've offered to get one of those things that pound like that and get the little needle. I've offered to do that and put that on her foot. Somehow she's not seeing that as very funny. All right, the putter looked good, but a bit out of my price range. Makefield's good. Makefield one, good for you. Good for you. Nice. Yeah, they put themselves with the. So what they did is they did a lot of very precise engineering, or milling, I will say. They give you a weight kit. They went out and they made their own putter grip, and then they priced themselves right up there along the lines with the top end. We'll see how that works out. This guy seems to be a pretty sharp business cat, so if he's not getting a lot of bites, maybe he'll find a whole nother area. But for me, it worked very, very well. It was, I totally thought I was going to be missing tons, and the thing had a little bit of break at the end. So, yeah, I was happy with it. The other part, we'll go with the other one with that well putt. They handed me a righty putter, and I said, I'm left-handed, and they're like, oh, sorry. So no sweat, and I still was putting right-handed, and it had an inside break on this platform, inside break, and I was dropping them left and right, and they're like, oh, look at this guy, he can putt, and I said, well, let's move it to that one, and I'd make 2 or 3 in that one. I said, move it to the other one, make 2 or 3 in that one. I look like I sure as hell looked like I knew what I was doing. It was pretty funny. Oh. Charles, if you like that kind, if you like a little sweeter, if you like something that's in between, certainly there it is. At least something to try. Duke, what's up? Having trouble getting grips. I saw an article saying a few companies are having this issue. Yeah, the bigger OEMs are the bigger companies that are relying on the rubber product from overseas. I believe they are. And talking with, I can't remember if it was Star or it was Pure, but getting some of it in mass quantities was a thing, but they were still making it. Now, colors was an issue, and I don't know what goes in the color other than the white. We found out it was titanium, but that's it. But yeah, we're starting to. It started at the beginning, in the middle of last year, and it was kind of like that. And when we found out they were in, we'd buy some extra ones. All right, Matt, there you go. Heading to the Cavs game tonight. Well, you enjoy that. You guys deserve it with all that cold up there. Any changes to your bag because of the show? Obviously, no rounds for me. Cabin fever is starting. We'll see. I talked to the Makefield putter guy. He says I'm getting one. We'll see. If I do get it, that'll certainly go in the bag. The from playing with Steve at Ocean, the new Rogue ST is certainly a winner, right? It has a different feel. Everything that they were saying, they're correct. In the fact of the sound, the feel, the look, is it just, if you've got an Epic and you've been fitted to it, is it you need to jump into the Rogue? I would say probably not, but especially if you're hitting it well, because you're going to hit it more right? Or better. You probably will hit it better, and it would be up to you to do that. From a more budget conscious point of view, probably not. But it reacts better off the face, and the things that they were talking about are true. So we'll go with that. All right. I am. She's been tough, man. I'm telling you. She was like, well, I got this foot. I'm like, yeah, I know. And we're getting ready to do another vacation, and she's like, well, I'm not getting anything done if we got to do this, so I'm going to go down there and have fun. I'm like, ooh, here we go. So if you can see what Mr. McGolf with a gimpy foot on a Segway, this ought to be fun. Jason, what's up? Nice to see the snow melting off, eh? Yeah, it is, but I think we're going to get covered, bud. I'm reshafting my old Dynacraft Copperheads for practice. Ooh, the Copperheads. Building and use in Sunday set. What shaft would you recommend for me? I'd have to go back and look and see what we put in there before. Honestly, what you reacted with in the same weight and flex of that what we have in your current that we put in your other set. I don't see it being a bad choice for the Copperheads either. Can't get enough of this stuff. Well, good, Garen. Glad you like it, buddy. Paul, what do you say? Did you see anything that would drive by and me up? Well, you could get that Irish pub for $80K, but outside of that, there was some really neat stuff out there, and I just wish I had the time to go and video it all, because there really was some neat stuff. The two-wheeler, single rider thing, that was really neat. There was some new ones out there for that. And the two-wheelers, actually, there were some that the two-wheelers became three-wheelers, so you really didn't have to balance. That was very, very nice. There was a new, who was it? Somebody was releasing a new launch monitor. Give me a moment. And I've met the guys before, and they're real big with simulators. That was something neat, but outside of that, not much. What's your opinion on Pure Grip versus Golf Pride versus Lampkin? Which do you prefer? Shankaboob. Okay, Shankaboob. What I prefer is not necessarily a golf company, but a golf grip style, and I like the low taper model. Right now, I'm carrying the MCC4 because they were the first ones I came along with. That has the tack and the tack and the feel from a low taper grip. Now, that being said, Pure Grip in that combo does the very same thing. The back end with the DTX is a very aggressive grip, but it still has a softness that gives. Okay. And the bottom end is a softer, tackier grip, much like the bottom of most of the other ones are. So could I play that one? Yeah, I could. I could play that one, and it would go for very long. Lampkin has always been one of those underdog grips that you just love to hate or hate to love. I'm not sure which one. I like their RELs, which were the ones that got really sticky during when it got wetter, and they had something in that range, but I don't know if they stayed with it. I'm not totally familiar with there, but I know they keep adjusting to try and get more popularity. But from a long-lasting point of view, I think Pure Grips wins hands down. From a tried and true kind of feel, same no matter what you put on, I think goes to Golf Pride, and then Lampkin is a secondary contender in that particular area. All right. Any word on my CLK3? I bought a 5 because I love it. 4 can't wait. I think Mrs. McGolf will be able to answer that one because we did get some in. All right. Golf swings from Toronto. Very good. Video request. How to guide on a bending loft and line wedges. I'm considering purchasing a loft and line machine. Would create some detailed instruction tips. All right. Now, again, if you're loft and lies, whether it's a wedge or an iron, it's the same thing. The wedge has got more loft, right? So you would be able to, the way to do it's the same. So I did a thing of truth and lies where I did some. Mine moves a little too much, but I'm used to it now. I would much more prefer it to be solid if I was to put one in there. The thing that you have to worry about golf swings is there is a feel that you have to. It's just one of those things that you grow, and it's a feel because you put both hands on the bending bar, and you pull or you push or you do one way or another. In order to feel, you will feel the metal giving through the bending bar, much like when you hit a shot dead on the screws or out on the toe or in the heel. You can feel that difference, and you will feel that pull and that give. And you want to pull at the same amount regardless of what it is that's sitting in there, forged or anything. And you pull slow and deliberate, slow and deliberate, slow and deliberate. Because if you go too fast, you can run into what I call in the crystal lattice structure, or where the molecules meet, could be bad. There could be an open instead of being everything layered together. And when you go real fast, it shows itself up in the way of a break. And in 20 plus years of doing this, yes, I have broken a few, and I've broken 3 to date and doing that. And in every single case, the club was pre-bent and I didn't know it. And that was the thing. So when we get to that point and I get a wedge, we'll do something for you. All right. Especially regarding where to place the bending bar, short bursts of force, slow application. Well, I covered that part. Any preventing marring, how do I tighten up the clamps, etc. All right. Well, I'll give you here's a quick lesson on that. The club has to be secure in whatever clamping mechanism that you have. You press down first, and then there's a toe stop that's second. Those have to be tight, right? Not loose. They have to be tight. And then when you grab on the hosel, I like bending from as low as I can possibly go, but you've got to watch because let's see if I got. We can try. So if you're trying this, although you can't do it, but if you start with the bending bar down in this area, you have the ability for it to rub and it fights you. So you want to be up just a hair. You want to be up just a hair, not from in here, but up just a hair in there, so that the actual bending bar will move, right? And then again, slow and deliberate, and in one plane, right? And you don't try and move it around, pull in one plane. All right. Yep, that's Miss McGolf. You're asking the right person. Mike Barber. Hi guys, you're from the UK. Wish like a show like that over here. It's not in the UK, Michael, but there is one in Japan. I don't know how hard it is to get there right now, but there used to be one in Japan that was pretty sizable, as I understand it. Had good grips on videos and chef. Well, thank you. It happens to be in my wheelhouse, and I know the guy, so that was always a good thing. I did know Steve and I did know Anders, but I do now. Both very good guys. Or the other fella from from Two Thumb either. That was kind of neat. I'm living in Europe, Vienna, so this is really tough for me to watch because it's midnight now. Good though, work though. Well, thank you, buddy, in Vienna. Nice. Well, thank you for looking in on us. So talking about Italy, huh? That helped. Al from yep. Hopefully too, right? We need to get her healed up. Russell was wondering if you had a chance to try the lean lock putter. Looked interesting. You know, Russell, I saw it and I came away with just the opposite. It looked like it was another version of the arm lock, but it went underneath the arm as opposed to against the arm. And it honestly, and all I saw were pictures. And it looked like you had to radically change your putting style in order to make this happen. I'm not a fan of that. Now, some people are always looking for a new putting style, and that may be what they need. I did happen to see him on the indoor putting green, right on the indoor putting green, and they were when you have to get into some serious instruction about that, it calls into question the validity of it. Now, again, we have a regular grip, a left hand low, right hand high, or a right hand low. We have the claw, we have the prayer grip. I mean, we got all these different putting styles. So what's one more, right? And if it works for a handful of people, then good. I'm glad. As long as it keeps you golfing, I'm all for it. Personally, and from a fitting perspective, it just looked like it was a lot of work to get somebody to buy into that. When using counterweights and putters for distance control, is there a standard start spot when installing one in the shaft, or is it moved up and down to dial the distance using different weights? Darren, what I do is what we do is we use different weights into the butt end, and I've had my kit from Balance Certified forever, and it installs right onto the top, and you can actually test with it, and so you'll notice almost immediately that the ball rolls better, and then the idea from there is the distance control and the accuracy that you're talking about, and one weight stands out from all the rest. And in the Balance Certified, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 7 different weight categories. Now, the first 3 are normally for the full swings, the 1s, the 2s, and the 3s. but the 5s, the 7s, the 9s, and 11s are typically what you find in the putter. And it creates a consistency in the backswing, which creates a very smooth impact into the ball, which then in turn creates a good distance control. And so, yeah, but I just keep them in the butt section. Now, there was a time where they had a longer one. It was weights on a rod about 12 inches long, where you could move the weight up and down and then tighten it up in there. And it really didn't take very well. Camilio, where are you at this time, bud? You're quite the world traveler. Sean Z, those they are good looking, aren't they? Those things really surprised me. Bettinardi's got a real eye for style, and I'd really like to see them from a functionality point of view. Everything on there looked like it was an easy to use wedge. I was really surprised to see that. The unfortunate part is with Bettinardi is that they don't come to the right side of the golf ball very often. So those things have to get ultimately popular for me to be able to use one. All right. Oh, good for you. There's Mike. No, Robin does not golf. I've had her out a few times. Good putter, very good chipper, but we have to work on the long game. She says that she chases after the golf ball in the range enough that she doesn't need to go golfing. Glad you're safe. Thank you, sir. Thanks for sharing experience. You are more than welcome, Dan. Good for you. Thank you very much. More interesting than an RPM, do you think? I missed something. We're talking about the new RPM shafts that True Tempers lent out. I don't know yet. Did I miss a whole conversation up here? I just went right by a whole bunch of stuff. All right. James Hodges, how are you, sir? Already 1 month in. I know, right? Oh, my goodness. I mean, it's the end of the month. Where did it go? Where did it go? And all that means is for us that it's getting closer to the time that we can actually get out and golf again. All right. When doing an iron fitting, how many shafts do you try? It depends on Roger. I'll say this more than once in a lot of cases. It depends on the golfer, right? So when we do fittings, it's not about trial and error per se that, oh, we think we would like this one. What we do first is we fit to length. And I could give you the lightest shaft on here that I've got, or I can give you the heaviest. Length is length, okay? And it's about, and that will give you your consistency. Now, yes, if it's heavier, it can go one spot. If it's lighter, it can go another, but it will still make that same dot or smaller pattern as the case may be, okay? Now, from there, we start looking at the way that the golfer brings the club back, the way that they transition on the top, and the way that they start releasing it at the bottom. And those three come into a combination to help us pick a particular style and a particular weight. And that's their starting point. And then based on the input from the golfer and the performance that we're seeing, we could go up or down in weight or even the profile of the shaft. So easily we could try between one, if I got it right on the very first try, which has happened, but mostly what we'll do is we'll try 3, sometimes 4 different styles or weights of shafts in order to dial it in. Hopefully that helped. Kim, what budget-friendly loft and lie machine? Budget-friendly. If you're doing it for yourself, Kim, GolfWorks, right? Try GolfWorks or try Golf Mechanics. Those guys both have several different models to choose from, depending on your budget. And as you know, and as it gets lower in cost, less things start showing up on it. So it's up to you on what it is that you like and you don't like. But very nice. What a crawler. I'm not sure what that means. Okay. There's Steve. I can do a test that you're hitting the shaft with the rogue head a long way. 296. Yeah, I couldn't believe what our boy back in the back. He said he hit it that far. I was like, okay, that was pretty cool. I'm glad he was tracking it because I would have had no idea. But the combination was fitting very, very good. I did like the way it was coming off. And the way that you were going, sir, I'm sure, did you get your LS ordered already? Because I think that one, from an eyeball perspective, I think would work very, very well. No, 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 no. Did you see any YouTube guys from England? No, they didn't. I didn't see where they came over, and with the fact that there wasn't going to be a whole lot in the way of golf clubs for them to swing. Chances are none of them were going to come over, and they haven't. Now, in the past, I have met them. I met both Peter Finch and Rick Shields when they were in their infancy, and they have just taken off like gangbusters, and it's been pretty cool. And we traded camera information and all kinds of stuff. They're very good folks. Well, hey, you.
You're over.
Okay. Larry Oppenhuisen.
Is he on Facebook?
Yep, he's on Facebook. Thanks for sharing us with the vendors we normally wouldn't see. How similar are Star Grips and Pure Grips? Larry, the rubber, the feel perspective of it is kind of similar because it's the same rubber, but what it is the textures is what set them apart. Even one has we'll call it a Tour Velvet or their Pro. They both have a Pro model, but they're both a different shape, and they both have different types of cuts in there, so they both feel a little different. So you can't go wrong with either one from a long-lasting durability point of view. You have to put your hands on them to ensure. Danny, what were the prices on the more budget-friendly Tour AD shafts? You know what? We'll have to look, Danny, because again, I just got on with them, and the price lists are coming with the shafts. We saw that one. Ryan Tracy, there's a new name. What's going on? What mat do you use in your fitting area? Looking at getting one from a high school team and want something that doesn't break the bank but still high quality. Ryan, what I use is fiber built. All right, I use a fiber built mat. They do have a training one that is very price conscientious, but it's in a hitting area that's the size of a football. Personally, I don't recommend it, but it does have a lot of pluses in that it helps people where they stand. It helps with feet placement and that kind of thing. But the next model up is where I would go, and it has a much larger standing area, a much larger hitting area, and each little square can take about 1,000 shots or 1,000,000 shots. So you got 4,000,000 shots that you can hit before you have to think about replacing the hitting area on average, okay? On average. But I would look at fiber built. Okay. Well, let us know how it works out, Emmanuel. All righty, look at here. Is there anything that you can add to a putter face? No, it would be illegal. You have to leave as it is designed. Hey,
Sorry.
she's all right. Uh, adding things to a putter face becomes illegal, particularly if it adjusts it from its original thing. People would put Vaseline and things like that on it. I'm not sure what you're asking me, though. How many years have you been to the show? That's always a bone of contention between me and Miss Golf. I'm saying we're around 18. We're around 18 years. All righty, where were we at here? John Mule. Glad you like the Urquhart. Hey, look at you. Look at Urquhart. Oh, Kit. I call it Urquhart. Yeah, Urquhart. It was developed in New Zealand. It was. It was very nice. It is a very unique. It had a very large sole, so you can't get stuck. And whether you're hitting a large iron or the putter, that was neat. And it was seemed to be very solid and easy to use or easy to adjust. So it was very neat. Does the cost of a wedge make a difference in performance? That's a good question. Does the cost of a wedge make a difference in performance? I would say, Mike, the standard pat answer would be no, right? As long as you have the right length, the right lie angle, the right bounce, the right weight, and the right sole grind. Outside of that, it depends. If one's $1,000 and one's $100, as long as they're on the same premise, they're all going to. It's going to work fairly easy. Now, normally, what the difference here is the long lasting characteristics of them, and then you start talking about spin and some face angle stuff. No, Robin told me I spelled it wrong. I know. Henry's back. What do you say? How often do you find moving from a max style head to a low spin head helps optimize a driver? Very much, right? Very much. My buddy Bob was putting a lot of spin on a driver when we were doing a fitting, and I put him in the LS model, and he dropped virtually between 500 and 1,000 RPM of spin, and because of that, he was gaining tremendous yardage. Now, the thing that you have, the max style versus the low spin, is what happens is the weight ends up going forward, and you hit these penetrating shots. And so, if you're a low ball hitter, it might have a negative impact, and that's the things you have to look out for. All righty. Talked to my repair guy at the shop, and he said that Golf Pride is getting rid of the Tour Velvet white only. It's getting rid of Tour Velvet. Oh, I don't know about that. White only MCC, among other things. Also, seat tapers are back ordered. Yeah, the seat tapers. Yeah, seat tapers. That's unfortunately. I didn't know they were getting rid of Tour Velvet. That's one of their best sellers. So I don't know about that. White only MCC, among other things. Yeah, I could see him getting rid of white. I don't see that being a very popular one. So we'll see. Wade Brink, thanks for the email today. I like your content. Well, you're welcome, Wade.
I did that.
Oh, Robin did that, so you're welcome again. Can you do a steel and graphite extension extraction video? Yeah, I think I've done one for steel. I'm not sure about the graphite, so take a look for where I did extend. I think I did one of both. If you put up extensions in there, I think there's one in there for that. If not, send me another email and we will certainly take a look at that. Libra 9, if your line goes 2 up, should your wedges be lower? I get that question a lot. Personally, I would say no. Somewhere along the lines, there's been this popular idea that your wedges need to be lower because you think you're going to come in from this scooping angle. From an average golfer perspective, I don't see that happening. If you're a more accomplished golfer, then yeah, maybe. But the thing to do is, if you can, it's an easy thing, is put a piece of tape on your wedge and just hit off it. Just stand on a piece of plywood and hit off of it, and see what happens. And you'll know if it's in the center. You'll know automatically. If it's on the toe, it needs to come up. There's Krister. How are you, sir? All right, we got it here. Love watching the great video village. Great to see what brands. Good. I'm glad to see that too. All righty, Dave Crandall. Glad you're a lefty. We're underrepresented. A new fan from Canada. Well, thank you, David. Yeah, I got to represent the players from the right side of the golf ball, right? That's good. What? 450? Yahoo! Jeff from Portland saying hello. Well, hello, Jeffrey. Thank you for coming on. Putting the book in relation to reactor plant manual. Yeah. The one in the reactor that we both know, Bud, is way bigger. Arnie, thanks for all the videos from PGA show. You were welcome, sir. Did you ever get an answer through thumbs would be available? No, I have not, but I thank you for reminding me. When I get done with this, I will send an email directly. Have you ever run across Pine Meadow golf clubs? I have once. You know, I don't want to talk bad about any golf clubs whatsoever, particularly if they work. Pine Meadows is a high volume, low profit kind of setup, much like was that Master? No, was it Master Grip? No, Warrior, and if nothing else, no. But I have ran into them. You see them a lot in. We've got a couple of the older sports sporting goods stores, and we find them in there. David Hanner, thank you, sir. Hi from the UK. Not doing any club fieldings this week. Off to Portugal. You are the lucky man. For golf, it's 20 Celsius here. Enjoyed the PGA. Thank you. Well, good. I'm glad you like it, and have fun in Portugal. She says she doesn't, but I think we did. I will say this: if you guys have ever get down into Orlando and you're in the Point Orlando area, right, which is near the convention center, there's a big Point Orlando is a place all by itself that has restaurants, things to do, that kind of stuff. And one of the things to do, and it's on International Drive on its way to Universal Studios. And one of the places that we tend to go all the time is called Maggiano's. And they are a chain, but a very small chain. They have one in Cincinnati that I have yet to be to. It's an Italian. It is a Italian food, very traditional. If you like that kind of stuff, I suggest it highly. Spaghetti and meatball, because the thing is about this big around, is delicious. Their veal parmesan, delicious. The salads, off the hook. Good stuff all the way around. I recommend it highly. Sean Gridstead, sorry I turned in late. No problem. If you haven't covered it, what did you really think about the Makefield, and will you sell it in your shop? I thought it was a very good putter, Sean. I thought it was a very good putter. Um, I don't know where the man's name is Everett. I don't know where Everett stands on bringing stuff into the shop just as of yet, but certainly I would consider it. You know, I haven't seen where we talk to Price just ever so often, but he's got I think he's coming to market in maybe a month. I don't know what the real name is or real time frame is, but certainly, you know, if we had it, yeah, I'd consider it. All righty. Apparently, Bob's on watching. That's Robin answering you, Steve. Thank you very much again. Yes. All right, two more. We got to go. All right, Alan Carter's a new one. From your experience, what is the likely cause low hits on a driver face? Ball position, tee height, shaft weight. I hit one driver dead center almost every time, and the other one always low. Well, if I knew the differences between the two, Alan, I could probably help you out a little bit better. And it depends on it. You also have to talk about direction when you hit these things low. If they're both going straight, then I would think it has something to do with ball position or tee height. You know, right out of the box. Let's assume they're similar. Then that's where you would go. Shaft weight can play a contributor to how you release the club, and yes, that could be a contributor as well. But right off the bat, I would think it would be ball position or tee height. Brad Easton got new irons in the fall. Nice. PXLZ60s. Well, I'm glad you got them because I don't think they make them. Great feel, flatten the flight. Good. Would you recommend putting these shafts in my wedges over the stock SM8 shafts? No. I don't think you're going to get what you're looking for from that one. As far as the flighted, what you're talking about is a now. Here's the thing. Yeah, could you? Yeah. Will it flatten the flight like it would for a wedge shaft? Probably not, because the SM8. So what Mr. Volke, Mr. Cleveland, most of these guys are doing, these shafts that they're getting, you're getting kind of a really quick version of the what they call them, spinner shafts. 8 iron, a little bit more heavy, that kind of thing, in order for you to get that flight. If you were looking to lower your flight just a little bit and in that particular region, I would look at the KBS 610 shaft. That's what it's for. All righty, last one. Oh, here we go. We'll do two more. Would you start with lofting up an LST head? If you're looking keeping up spin, yes. Yes, I would. Do you think the OptiVibe system is a good purchase for putters? What would you recommend? OptiVibe. I've heard of that. I can't recall what that is right now. I will go with this, Darren. If there's something so much as a weight that you can place in the back, the two that I'm familiar with is the Balance Certified and Tour Lock. They're virtually the same kind, different way of getting to the same spot. I think I know what you're talking about with OptiVibe. Personally, I don't use it only because I'm familiar with the other stuff, and I haven't heard anybody raving about the other one. So that's where to give you that. All righty. I went down to the very last one, and we'll go from there. Okay. So we'll look at that one. And Bill Winger, thank you for the videos, much appreciated. Guys, I appreciate all the questions. I think that's just cool that you guys are talking with me, and that's just what I think. I think that's just great. And again, from around the world, again, that I just I'm overwhelmed with that one. I thank you very much. Again, if you guys remember, like and subscribe here. That way you get more of the other ones when they come out. And I should have another one, so we should be good to go. And then I got to start catching up again. So again, guys, thank you so very much. Be safe out there. Hit them low and let your scores go low.